I'm a motherfucking dog on the mic, walking a bite, cold little flow and the whole say I'm nice, yeah. Got a little vice, pop my pills and I left my rice. Let me talk my shit, get up on my dick. Way too smooth, you ain't move like this and it be like damn. That's that shit, white boy code and I don't take pics. Smooth like butter.
This is my 1991 BMW 325i drift car. Drift car. Drift car. Drift car. Drift car. Drift car. Bougie drift car. Drift car. Oh, didn't even fucking. It's a fuck.
Please get on my DIC, K in LA, be high like grease. In the cut like crease. I'm too long, I'm getting no fucking dog on the mic, walking a bite, cold little flow and the whole say I'm nice, yeah. Got a little vice, pop my pills and I left my rice. Let me talk my shit, get up on my dick.
So let me tell you a little bit about the drift car. It's a solid sedan. It's actually a four-door. My rear, you can see this right here, my rear handles are a little covered. But it's got big Duck Club over fenders. They're great, honestly. I've had multiple hits with other people and they stay great shape. I have the OEM Plus body kits. We got M3 mirrors, M3 front bumper, E46 non-M sedan side skirts. OEM M3 rear bumper, and a Widest is the brand rear diffuser. It's a buddy in Poland. I was talking to him a while ago. He sent me one, good guy. Sent me replacement panels when they fell off, but it's a drift car, so it's gonna get destroyed. That's the one thing about drifting you have to understand is that your shit is gonna get destroyed. It's just how it is. So every time you get out on that track, just write off the car. I've been hit multiple times and you can't really see it because PB Blaster, WD-40 with a little rag, it's all those marks right off. So on the back of the car, we have Wed's Serv 1s. They are 17 by 10 in the back with two 35-40-17 Kendas. Great grip, I run them at like 40 PSI. They last forever. Like I got like 2 whole events out of it. Nice and shiny, triple chrome all around, gold hardware. Those are great for the back. In the front, I have some Workmeister reps. They're 17 by 9 ET15. And I'm honestly okay with them being reps because Meisters are like $3 grand. And these are easy to mount tires on and off of. I run the Falcon Azenas 615K for grips on the front. They do fantastic, honestly, I love them a lot. And it wouldn't be a drift car without the Team Power Up penises on the valve stems. Gotta have those. All right, so here we are at the back of the car. Regular stock trunk, stock bumper. This is that Widest diffuser. It's missing a panel here because I've hit it too many times. I got the InPro tails that are all smoked. I thought it just went well with the whole theme of the car. Trunk opens up OEM in the back. We have a 10-inch subwoofer, an Infinity with a, I think a 600 watt amp on the back, but it's really nice to be bumping tunes in grid, especially when you're waiting to go. Or even out on track, you can kind of hear it over the engine. It's honestly way nicer. For me, if you're street driving your car or you're at the track, whatever, keep this toolkit in the trunk of your E36. Having this full of tools will help you trackside, roadside, doesn't matter. Having this has saved me multiple times. All right, so in the cockpit, we have a Renown steering wheel, which has the NRG quick release hub on it. And one thing, I really like this steering wheel a lot, actually. It's a suede wheel with the BMW anniversary center cap, and if you look closely, I'll try to get it up to the camera as much as possible. It has the M3 blue and red stitching inside the steering wheel. It's just a little detail that I personally really love. OEM dash, OEM center console. Still got OEM shifter. I don't really like the chassis mount shifters all that much. They're very notchy. They don't really feel too normal. This is it's like a weighted DSSR linkage and an OEM M3 or ZF, I guess, shifter rod. And it shifts honestly buttery smooth. I still have a radio in here, but I tried to keep as much full interior as possible. I did a street series competition the other day, so I have all the door panels except for this one because the cage just goes out and into it. I got the 92 airbag list dash. So there's like a lip here, there's no airbag. All black interior, carpet, center console, door panels. Everything that I could fit in the car that the cage didn't obstruct. So I don't have a headliner. But everything else is here. The radio works. All this is for the turbo setup that I used to have, but I'm not using at the moment because I just have a stock S52. The interior is really nothing crazy. I have a Seibelt Halo seat. I have an OMP passenger seat. Simpson Racing harnesses. It's clean. And it's still a street car. I still street drive this car. It's registered. I drive it to work. I drive it to the events. So it's got everything except heat and AC. All right, so now that we're done with the inside, I'll show you guys under the hood. We don't have hood shocks here. That's too nice. All right, so under the hood, we have a stock S52 with all the bolt-ons. It's got lightweight pulleys, underdrive power steering pulley, and water pump pulley because when I'm sitting on limiter, I don't need to have them spinning normal speed. They can slow down a little bit. M50 intake manifold. I got the silicone 90-degree boot, and actually I'm using part of my intercooler piping from my old turbo setup as a cold air intake here. And one of the things that I did myself was I made these headlights. These are OEM plastic headlights that I removed the lens from and then cut and gutted the entire headlights from both of them. And then I attached these LED halo rings. So I did this because when you look right through here, the intake is right on the other side. So these are basically just giant intakes now. So when I'm driving, this is seeing fresh air and it's filling my whole engine bay with cold air. So I did this back when I was turboed because I was seeing high temperatures. So that's why all the heat tape is here. When my turbo was sitting right here, I initially gutted just the high beam so I could have fresh air going to the turbo, but I quickly realized that my temps were still too high. So I gutted both of them on both of them, and then I added hood risers here so that I could have air come in. Normally funnels through the trans tunnel, but I had it come in and it was actually coming out and up in the back of the hood. I know some of the Honda guys back in the day like to raise the back of the hoods. It's also an S13 thing. It's tuned, it's got a OEM headers, but it has a 3-inch exhaust from the firewall back. Pretty much OEM otherwise. It's just a tuned S52. Last week there was a competition at Lock City. It was a street series like I was talking to you guys about. So when I was there, I was driving with my buddy Jordan, and I tapped him ever so lightly right here on the side of the bumper, and it ended up ripping pretty much all of this off. So it's, at the moment, it's pretty loose. It's held on by these wires right here. If these weren't here, the whole front end would just kind of fall down and be supported by just this one bolt here. So excuse the hackery, so to speak, but I had to drive home an hour and a half from the event, so I had to make sure it wasn't gonna fall down. But normally the car is really clean. In my 6 years of drifting, I've never crashed, and this is kind of the first boop, and it was such a light boop. This is really the extent of it right here. I just didn't back off quick enough on transition, but I hit him just perfectly that it hooked the bumper and pulled it off the car, and it might not look like much, but to me it sucks. And this is all coming out actually anyway because I'm building my turbo engine. But we're gonna get into that soon. I have a whole fully built S52 for this, precision turbo, the whole nine. We're gonna get into it later in the video. That's all going in soon, so when this all comes out, I'm gonna fix it all. But it's basically a stock S52. It's got like dynoed at like 230 horsepower. And I run a ZF transmission with a 3.15 welded diff. All right, so that was kind of everything over here, and now we're gonna get under the car, but for now, I'm just gonna bring the car inside, put it up on the lift, and show you guys from there. All right, so we're under the car, and I'm just gonna show you the basics. It's all stock, there's really nothing too special. But we got the Kendas, and believe it or not, these have an entire day of drifting on them. I'm honestly surprised, but these have an entire day at Lock City. A little bit of wear out here, but that's a whole day. Anyway, we got BC coilovers. We have UUC adjustable rear arms, a 315 welded diff. We got OEM diff mounts in the rear. I'm pretty sure I have a poly front mount, polyurethane R-tabs, and stock non-M axles and brakes. I do run a heat shield so that I have something to tie the dual caliper bracket to. I run dual OEM non-M calipers, so they're just regular 325, 328 rear calipers, 2 of them dual caliper. And I do run a sway bar. I run the OEM 325i sedan rear sway bar with the OEM mounts. And it's really important to reinforce your subframe on these cars because they crack if you don't. So I have full reinforcement plates on the subframe and the trailing arm pockets. And I have AKG polyurethane subframe mounts. But stock tank, stock location, stock lines, pretty much just easy stuff. This is that diffuser I was talking about. Some LEDs that I used to work, but they don't anymore. I actually need to take those off and replace them. But back here, pretty stock. Adjustable camber arms and coilovers. Everything else is just some rubber bushings. All right, so moving up to the front, this is our 3-inch exhaust all the way from the firewall back. There's a little Y right here. We have the full SLR Super Kit. It's a little dirty right now, but it's the full kit. Adjustable control arm lollipops, Heims everywhere. I do run the convertible X-Brace for a little bit of chassis rigidity. I like to have these. This is the Turner sway bar. I think it's a 30 millimeter, a little bit thicker than stock. I like to have the front be nice and kind of planted. BC coilovers again, 10K spring up front. And that's really it for up here. It's just the SLR kit, the BC coils, stiffer sway bar, OEM otherwise. I have everything kind of taken out so that the radiator can get as much airflow as possible because I still run the stock clutch fan. So you have all the air pulling through with the shroud. It's honestly moves way more air than any other electric fan, but people are afraid of the clutch fans, but as long as you have new or really good engine mounts and they're not used up, you'll be fine. Because I've had this car turboed, I've had an NA, I run the Condor Speed Shop motor mounts, and I've never had a problem blowing a clutch fan, blowing a radiator, nothing. I'm still running the plastic radiator, plastic expansion tank, shroud, plastic fan, everything. So it's honestly all fine. I do run a Stewart water pump because I want that extra water flow, but it's really nothing too crazy. So you can see under here, this is the damage from the last event. We have a lot of it held up by wire ties right now, but the bumper is kind of hanging on for dear life. And the wire tie is doing most of it because this ripped right off. And yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but the radiator moved, the whole radiator support, everything ripped right off the front here. I'll show you guys some better video in a second, but I was really surprised at how easily that fell right off because a quick little boop on the side, it must have been weak or something like that, but a very small hit, I pulled into the pits and the bumper was hanging on the ground and I really surprised, but yeah, that's kind of everything with the drift car, to be honest. It's a pretty simple setup. It's a good seat time car. It's a stock S52 and a ZF. I can still spin 235 Kendas with the 315, and it's a great car. It's just not quite enough power. One of the cooler things that I do have for this car that I've been waiting to put in for at least a year now is a fully built S52 motor. And we have an event coming up in 2 weeks. I have a dyno appointment in 15 days. And I need to make sure that this new motor is fully dressed, fully ready to go in the car, fully bolted up, all the fab work done, converted to E85, the whole nine. So I'm gonna show you the motor because we still have to assemble some of it, so I'm gonna show you guys kind of what I have for it. All right, so I've been a little busy, but this is kind of where I've gotten with this motor up to this point. I wasn't really doing the whole YouTube thing, wasn't filming it before, but this is a fully built S52 short block that my boys Travis and JP, I don't know, you guys might know them, Travis and JP in Connecticut, they built a short block for me. I supplied all the parts and they did the machine work. I had to make sure that they align honed it for all the ARP hardware, they balanced it, they polished it, they gave me all new bearings and it's nice to have that peace of mind knowing that everything was torqued right, everything was measured correctly, and you know I can sleep at night knowing that at least my short block is okay. I've assembled these motors 100 times, but having that peace of mind is still great, especially for a fully built setup. This motor started off as a M52 B28 block, and what I did was I used a S52 crank. What I used was an S52 crank. I got Alien Engineering, which is shout out to Perry Hubing out there. He's a E36 turbo, you know, kind of an OG. He's been around forever. He knows his stuff. But he custom made me through Wiseco some 8.5-to-1 compression pistons that are countersunk tops that are actually dished so much that the motor is now a non-interference motor. I have them ceramic coated. I have the skirts coated too. This kind of helps with heat dissipation and just overall health of the piston. But I wish I had these out so I could show you just how like girthy the pistons really are, because the space between the rings is gargantuan. And I forget what I have them gapped to, but I think it's a .022 bottom and a .024 top. But it's a perfectly balanced, perfectly clean short block. I bored it out to 85mm pistons, and with the S52 crank, I'm pretty sure it puts me at like a 3 liter or a 3.1 liter. But it's sweet. It's got the Wiseco pistons, it's got Eagle rods, S52 forged crank, ARP hardware all on the bottom, race bearings, and that's kind of it for the short block. I'm using a OEM S52 oil pump, which if you're building these M50, M5X motors, always open up your oil pump, because I had to check 3 different pumps on the inside to make sure there was no scoring or wear on them. And the first 2 I took apart had all these scores, all this scratching as soon as I took it off. And luckily the 3rd one I checked was beautiful, so make sure you do that. I had a friend who didn't check it and he blew his brand new motor. I had to do all new bearings, the whole nine. So moving on, we have a S54 oil filter housing, which is off the E46 M3. These have the ports on the side for an oil cooler. And I have an external oil cooler that just gets bolted onto the front of the car. It's pretty sweet. I'm running a tiny head gasket, actually. A lot of people run bigger head gaskets to compensate for compression ratios, but Perry engineered my pistons so that I can run a thinner than stock head gasket. I'm using a MLS. I don't really like the cut rings. A lot of my friends use them, and as soon as you torque it down, it cuts into the head, and I've seen brand new builds leak coolant and leak oil on their first run because the cut ring didn't seal right. All right, so this is the head that I have for this thing. It's a fully built head. There's a bunch of numbers etched on the side of it. Those are just the lashes and the cuts for the valves, but I have a full SuperTech head. We have SuperTech dual valve springs. I forget what the spring rates are exactly, but it says it on the box. They're for E36. And then I'm also running SuperTech forged valves on both the intake and the exhaust. So this is what they look like. They're a little dished. Not exactly sure why, but that's just how they come out of the box. But this is a fully built, fully machined, fully seated, all fresh, everything head. And I'm honestly really excited to put this thing on the car. This is actually the first time I've taken it out of the box. I knew what it was on all the paperwork, but it's a little different seeing it in person. All right, so that means that we have a fully built short block with Wiseco pistons, Eagle rods, forged crank. We have a fully built head with SuperTech dual valve springs and forged valves. With this precision, I think I'm running a 5858 or a 6262 at 1 bar. I also have E85 and a flex fuel sensor. This thing should boogie. I'm kind of overbuilding it. I'm only shooting for around 500 horsepower. I know this thing can handle more, but I want to keep it tame. The E85 should keep the temps down, and because I have all the coatings, it should all be good. Everything's brand new. I'm going to be running S52 cams, stock S52 cams, and I have a Max ECU. It's a European plug-and-play for OBD2, MAXX ECU. Shout out to them. And honestly, I'm going to get ready and start assembling this thing because I have 2 weeks for my dyno appointment on June 6th. Today is the 22nd of May. So I have 14 days to get this whole thing assembled in the car, switched to E85, plumbed, and ready to go for my dyno appointment, because June 7th is a comp at Lock City for the Street Series. And June 14th is another Lock City event, but we'll see if I get the application acceptance for Drift Appalachia. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I don't really have high hopes, but I really want to go drive that. But this thing should be ready to go in about 2 weeks. All right, so that's pretty much a full rundown of everything I got. That's the full turbo motor. I'm super excited to have that thing back in the car, making some real power. I've been drifting like 2 years on the stock S52, and I'm just really over it. Showed you guys the whole car inside and out. But yeah, that's all we got time for today. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you guys get notified when I put videos up. That helps me a lot. Yeah, thanks, Ren. Stick around.
Hit that bell!
They don't want rap no more, they want pop. The CIA, the ones who kill Pac. And they made crack, I might just get shot. And they made crack, I might just get shot. Fuck it, I'ma tell the truth like it's nothing. Add a little bass, but they double up the budget. Run it, I ain't hit my peak, no summit. I don't ever sleep when it's sunny. Work the